Hi, I'm Chelsea Devantez, host of Celebrity Book Club, a new podcast from Stitcher. Each episode of this book club explores the power of women telling their messy, sometimes ugly, mostly empowering stories in their own words. So come join me, come get in the book club. Let's talk some shit. Celebrity Book Club is out now. Listen in Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Two-time Super Bowl veteran Anthony Dorset Jr. gives us a glimpse into the life of a single-parent dad. Every sector of our lives is pretty much under construction. Family, under construction. Career, under construction. Relationships, under construction. Emotions, I know mine live under construction. Finances, under construction. We might as well be under construction together. Welcome to Under Construction with your girl, Tamar Braxton. Now, y'all, I am so overjoyed right now. Like, I couldn't wait to get back on this microphone. All right, so last week, while celebrating our 2020 Thanksgiving, I decided to go into reflection mode and truly take account of all of the things that I'm thankful for. And somewhere after my life, my son, my peace, y'all, I gotta tell y'all, my eyes got a little misty as I thought about all of the ways in which I am under construction. And then my thoughts led me to you. And in that moment, I realized that I never said thank you. Y'all, my little heart was so full of conviction because y'all just don't know how much it means to me to have you on this journey with me. It's one thing to get up here and just talk, but this show is truly therapeutic for me. And it's my hope that it's healing, entertaining, fun, and real for you too. Because y'all, we are all in this thing of building, growing, and learning together because we're all under construction, right? Okay. Well, let me go ahead and tuck my little Pisces emotions away and reclaim my excitement about today's show because I've really been looking forward to chatting it up with two-time Super Bowl veteran Anthony Dorset Jr. about his life as a single-parent dad, and that's what we're going to be discussing today on The Blueprint. But first, it's time for me to give my take on COVID weight. Would y'all believe me if I told y'all I gained over 40 pounds over the course of this year? Well, let me tell you this. Whether you believe it or not, as I'm not going to confirm or deny anything, what I will say is this. I did not sit around and act like I had noticed the few pounds I'd been toting around. So here are some of the things I did to get back to a body I recognized. Okay, first things first, I had to put the fork down. I mean, listen, it don't matter whether it was bread, rice, protein, no. Anything that is excessive has to cease. And that was my relationship with the fork. Yes, we were going together. That was my boyfriend, the fork. I was his girlfriend, and we had a very emotional, amazing, magical moment together. Okay, so that's first. Second, I started to do the things that I did before COVID, which for me was cycling. And then I got a personal trainer. So if you want to equate that as going hard, yes, I went hard because I had a whole food baby in my belly that was full term and it had to go, okay? And I know for a lot of people who are listening, you're just not motivated to work out because you don't have your, regular workout surroundings around you. But it really is a personal choice. You have to really be tired of being fat. And I was like, and let me tell you something. It's some real trickery going on because we around here in our pajamas. Everybody's wearing sweats. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wearing no jeans. We ain't going nowhere. So, you ain't got to get cute. No, these sweats are elastic and stretchable. It's not real. It's a farce. Okay? So if you don't know whether you've been gaining weight or not, go upstairs and put on a pair of jeans, okay? And it's going to tell you the truth. All right. And that just brings me to all of the holiday eating. Now, I know I went so hard on Thanksgiving, y'all. I ate so much. And I didn't feel bad about it because, I allowed myself that day to go all the way in. I called myself always dieting, like the week before Thanksgiving, just to give myself a little leeway, to eating good and not feeling bad about everything, that I ate on Thanksgiving. And I don't know, for some reason this year I tried it, but my little juice diet didn't work. I felt like I ate 7 days up until Thanksgiving. And then I went ahead and had everything I needed in my life to start fresh like I'm doing now, because everybody's on semi-lockdown now. I can't come back out here with another food, baby. That ain't it. That's not hot. So I want to hear about y'all food journey in quarantine. Tell me about how many pounds you gained. Tell me about what you did to lose them. Are you losing them, or are you still on the COVID get fat diet? I want to hear from you. Now, y'all already know what to expect during Tamar Takes. All facts. And don't be mad at me. Don't at me. This is just how I see things, okay? And today, this was my take on COVID weight. All right, I'm finna keep it a thou. Baby, it is all me. All right, y'all. Now, it's time to tap into that keep it a thou inbox and pull out a few questions for your girl. Now, let's see what we got today. Okay, question 1.
Hey, Tay. I want to know, what is one of your go-to beauty secrets? What is that one thing that you can always count on to keep your skin looking flawless?
Oh, let me tell you, this is something that we underestimate, okay? One of my favorite beauty secrets is drinking water. I'm telling you, that thing will clear your skin, all right? You get pimples, clear it up. You get a little, discoloration, clear it up. I'm telling you, water, that thing is the magic wand sometimes. So that's my favorite beauty secret. Question 2.
Dear Tamar, what would you say is the one thing that people misunderstand most about you?
Oh my God, I hate this question. I think the main thing that people misunderstand about me is that I am 1,000% turned up all the time. I'm loud and boisterous and messy and ridiculous and dumb. And that is the total opposite about what I would say that I am, I do have a good time with my friends, and we do cackle, honey, and we do have a good loud cackle a lot, because I'm here for, the shits and giggles. I like to laugh, I like to make jokes. I like to be 100% real. But in that same token, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I think that who I was and what you guys saw on reality television is the complete opposite of really who I am in real life. So I think that's what's most understood about me. But it's all good. Well, I hope that answers all your questions. And remember, if you guys have something that's on your heart that you may want my take on, because I'm going to always keep it a thou. Email me at ucwithtamar@gmail.com. This is the blueprint. Come on, y'all. Let's go. The old saying, like father, like son, is more than a cute parallel for Anthony Dorset Jr. He's always admired his father, Tony Dorset, an NFL Hall of Famer and Dallas legend. But to Anthony, he didn't only acquire his dad's name, looks, and talent. He captured the essence of what it means to be a father. And he's passing those family heirlooms on to his 6-year-old adorable son, Hawk. Today, Anthony joins us to share his blueprint to being a single parent from the man's perspective. Welcome to Under Construction, Anthony.
Man, thank you for having me.
You're a single father, and your son is 6 years old.
Yeah, he turned 6 August 14th.
What happened with you and the baby mama? Was she your wife or your girlfriend?
No, we've been friends for multiple years, actually over 20 plus years. I've known his mother. It was one of those type of things where I've never been married before. So I actually had a kid out of wedlock.
I mean, that's okay. No judgments here. No judgment on Under Construction.
I'm a product of that, as well as, a lot of other people that we know, especially in the minority and the black community as well. So there's nothing to be ashamed about at all.
Your son's mom is present, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. She's present.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So no, I have true 50-50 custody.
You co-parent.
Yes, we co-parent. Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry. Maybe I was misunderstanding the question.
Yes.
No, she's not deceased or anything like that. We're just not together. You know what I mean? So that's how I became a single father. Yes,
Okay, got it. So how does that work from your perspective? Because, I do pride myself on being a good baby mama. I really do. Like, for real. Like, I don't give my son's fathers, did I say plural? I'm speaking that.
Yeah, you did.
My son's father, any problems.
You got something you ain't telling us?
No, I'm too single for that. It's not fair. It's like Desert Storm. Yeah, I don't give him any problems. Like, I actually encourage him to date. How does that work? Like, do you have a significant other? Does she have a significant other? Is that difficult?
What I don't do is I don't get in her business. And, we don't do that to each other. You know what I mean? And so what we do is we put our son first, and that's where we're supposed to be. Anything else, like anyone that she's seeing or anything else like that, I'm sure that you'd be in the same situation. Anyone that your ex is seeing, you would just want to make sure that they have the best interests of your child at hand. You want to make sure that, of course, she knows the people well enough to even bring them in front of your kid, or, in my situation, my kid. And you just do your best to stay in your lane. Now, if it's something I guess that looks out of pocket or out of ordinary, I'm sure that you would step in and say, that doesn't look right. But yeah, so it hasn't been as difficult as some people might think it would be, especially when you put the kids' interest first in their heart more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. I actually called my son's father my cousin because we made it such a family, oriented situation when it comes to my son. He's first, period.
How old is your child?
My son is 7 years old.
Right. Those early ages, it's really hard to it has been for me to just get into a relationship. My mother raised me as a single parent, and I tip my hat to her all the time. And it was just certain things that I didn't see and I did see growing up. So it was never a situation where there was random men around. I never went to bed with a man in the house. Or it actually took me to get to college to actually go back to her and ask her, yo, did you ever get any booty during that whole time you was raising me or anything? Because, I can't say it enough, but she put me before everything. And so in my movements, anytime that I've dated a woman who was a single parent, it was just certain ways that I moved as well, because just out of respect for that kid. It's just
so give me some of them tips. How you move? What?
Well,
what you do?
So with me, like I mentioned before, my mother really didn't seem like she dated a lot as I was growing up. So I could tell you on one hand the amount of dudes that I might have met. And you know what I mean? Right. And this was until I went to school, and my mother didn't get married until I was actually in college. So, that gives you a framework of how she actually did things. I didn't meet people. In the past, if I've dated a young lady that was a single parent as well, I wasn't in a hurry to, and out of respect, I didn't need to meet your kid right now. If I'm not going to be that person that's going to be consistently around or anything else like that, it's cool for me to have the meeting, but as far as just being around your child, and I'm not going to be an influence in that life at an early age, it's too impressionable.
What's a good time zone to decipher when you meet the kid?
Yeah, so for me, I think that every situation is going to be different, and you've been in enough relationships to tell, you know when you have that click with a person, and you actually feel okay, this is something a little bit more than the superficial stuff that I've been around, and so I think that every opportunity is going to present a different time if it actually presents itself at all. For me, I have 50-50 custody of my son, and so I'm very selfish with him. And so for me, it's been one of those type of situations where I don't date a lot because I eat him up as much as I can when I have him. I'm not ready to share him because I'm already sharing him in that way. And so if you deal with the custody thing like I do, it's a situation that you can actually never prepare your heart for every week. You know what I mean? It's the same heartbreak going in and out the weekend, waiting to see him again, talk to him again, or whatever the case may be. It's changed up some things with me. I call my son the game changer.
Oh, that's so sweet. So let me ask you a question. What kind of a father are you?
I'm an out loud lover. I have no shame in the way that I love my son or anything else like that. I think that we all, when we have a chance to become parents, regardless of how good our parents were, we love from a place of what we might have didn't get or what we might have wanted. That being said, like, I love my little boy, and I tell him every day, all day. I've been fortunate enough to be around some other single fathers in my family and watch them and do stuff. And I used to watch my cousin braid his daughter's hair. Like, this started when they were babies. And then I have another cousin who just passed away, about a month ago, who was a single father from basically day one and raised his son. And I've been surrounded by good male role models, strong men. For me to take on the role and to be able to do it, it wasn't something that was hard for me to do. I wanted to. It's been good.
With you and your dad being an NFL Hall of Famer and a huge Dallas legend, you play football too. So let me ask you a question. Was there pressure? Did your dad put pressure on you to play football?
Nah, not at all.
Was he strict with you?
My dad wanted me to be a boxer.
Really?
My dad used to tell me I had the face to be a boxer. He said, yeah, you got the bone structure. I'm like, what are you trying to say? I'm ugly? Like, I look like I need to get punched in the face? But my dad's favorite athlete growing up during that time, of course, was Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? And Muhammad Ali was he was far more than an athlete. He was a great man as well. But there was never any pressure. My dad tried to keep me out of football. And then when I started playing, he actually wanted me to play quarterback. He was like, look, you need to play a position that's like the premier position and one of the most protected positions on the field. So, it transpired from that. I was always very athletic as a kid. And so, I played a little bit of everything when I was on the football field.
So would you raise your son to be a football legend too?
Actually, I want my son to play baseball. I noticed at 2 years old, I was able to toss the ball up in the air, and he was picking it up and hitting it out the air at 2, 3 years old. So I got him in the other room right now, and what he's doing, he's into dinosaurs and wildcats and any type of animal. I've learned more about animals with him than I probably knew my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
So, so the push is to raise a well-rounded young man, you know what I'm saying, and let him pick the sport that he wants to play, and there's no pressure at all.
Okay. Well, I would think that you would raise your son to be like a huge NFL star, because that's just who you guys are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I actually thought I was going to the NBA at one time. I really thought that when I was younger that I was going to be an NBA player and just do some different stuff. Once you get bit by that football bug, it's something a little bit different. And, of course, having the last name Dorset, I'm from a small town outside of Pittsburgh called Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. And we've put out some of the best football. Aliquippa. Yeah, she was an Indian queen back in the day, and they named the city after her. Long story short, man, we come from a football town. My dad is a Hall of Famer. Mike Dick is from the same town. My cousin Ty Law just became a Hall of Famer about a year ago. And then just to mention a gang of other players from the area, Sean Gilbert, Darrell Revis. This is one township that has produced all these people.
Wow.
Right, okay? The high school from my hometown. They got about 300 students in the whole school, and they play 4A football, which would be in upwards of thousands of students in the school. So they only got like 100 men in the school, 150 male students in the school alone. So where we come from is just steel mills, hard workers. We just breed a different type of person, and we grind a little bit different where I'm from. Yeah.
That's a lot of football from one teeny weeny little town.
Curtis Martin, Dan Marino. I'm talking about
Curtis.
Yes. Hey, yeah.
So let's get back to you.
Okay.
Because I feel like you holding back a little bit. And the great thing about under construction, it is the place where you feel safe. It is the place where, whatever you want to say, you can say it. No one's going to judge you. But we do want to know what's going on.
Understood.
Why are you single? You checked all the boxes with the S, okay? Single, sexy, successful. Like, why?
I'm not married. You know what I mean? And so now it's a situation with my kid. I've been trying to find that balance, and it's tough to actually find that balance. I waited late to have kids. Most kids that are my age, their kids are grown in school or whatever.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's a struggle.
Yeah, and so then you know the struggle. Like, I'm not going to defend myself while I'm putting in so much time with my kid if a woman is going to be jealous in any kind of way or making it be an issue. You know what I mean? So like I said, I've been trying to find that balance. I haven't put myself out there.
You've had a woman that you were dating jealous of the time that you put in with your kid instead of with her?
I've heard a number of different things, you know what I mean? And I don't know if it's actually jealousy. I don't know how else to define it. You know what I'm saying? but like I said, I make no excuses about that. I make none at all. And I'm very defensive, and I'm sure you are when it comes to your kid. When you're dealing with an adult who is an adult, and you have to talk about something that you're doing for a child that you take care of, that you have to feed, that needs that, it's a totally different situation at this point with a kid and with a grown woman.
Yeah.
But the balance is the hardest thing. Like I said, it's hard to share him. I'm stingy right now. I'm not lying about it. And I've had to explain that to people. But me and my son, we talk about it. And I let him know that he's going to have to meet somebody. And my son wants me to. He's like, Daddy, okay.
I was going to say that he's 6, so the conversations are probably very interesting. Like, Dad, when you're going to have a wife or something like that, or when I'm going to have a sibling. Does he have siblings on his mom's side?
No. Like, so it was, we've talked about that. Like, of course, one day he came to me, he was like, I want a little brother. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? And so, like, the first time you hear it, you act like you don't hear it. You know, like
right?
we talk about something else.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, "Do you ask your mom that same stuff too? Do you bring that up with her? See what she's gonna tell you to do. See what she's gonna do for it."
I think the difference is that his mom is in a relationship, so he sees his mom with somebody else, and so maybe he wants to see that from his dad. I think that our kids worry about us. They're young, but they ask us these questions because they don't want us to be alone. And I also believe they don't want us in their face all the time. Although we feel guilty about not being with them all the time, they really don't want that. I have an only child too, and I thought that, I have to hover him all the time and be around him and play with him and entertain him. He don't really want that. He want me to go off.
So let me tell you, I was the only child, all right? And so, yeah, so like...
Oh, how did you feel? I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was the only child. So, I've been through this, and everything else like that. And so I've seen it firsthand as well.
Yeah.
You gain so much independence at a young age, being the only child, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the level of maturity and the responsibility that you're going to put in your kid is going to be totally different too as well, because unless there is another man in the house, he will actually start to assume the role. Like my mom used to say I was her daddy all the time, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Yeah, so being from that and seeing it, I will tell you this, as you go through the process of doing it, never ever doubt yourself in any kind of way that you can raise a strong young man. You know what I'm saying? You, black women in general, my mother is a great example of it. You can raise the most successful young man that you want to. You know what I'm saying? Just pour into him. I was going to say something earlier, and I mentioned the good guys that were around me. And I had a friend of mine who owns a foster care home. And he has 3 of his own children, and he has so many foster kids as well. One day I asked him, when I knew that I was going to have my kid, and I was just like, man, you've been father to yours and a father to so many others. What would be the most important thing that you could tell me to do with my kid? And he just said, man, just confirm your love. Just make sure that your son knows without a shadow of a doubt that daddy has his back, daddy loves him. He said you got time to make him tough. You got time to turn him into an athlete. Just make sure that he understands that you're in his corner without a shadow of a doubt. And I come from a family that loves out loud. Me, my uncles, my cousins, and everybody's played ball. We got big guys in the family, but we've never been the type of dudes that hey, I love you, cuz, I love you, unc. And it's just the way that we've always been for each other. So it's definitely helped in raising this little boy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you don't have daddy guilt at all? You don't experience that?
What's daddy guilt?
What's daddy guilt? Well, I don't know what daddy guilt is, but I can tell you what mommy guilt is. Mommy guilt is when you feel guilty for leaving your child or leaving your child to, let's just say, go out on a date.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or if you start seeing somebody I think I'm spending too much time with da-da instead of, my kid. Or I work too much. I'm not home enough. I need to be home more than, I am doing other things. So that's mommy guilt. Do you have daddy guilt?
Yes. I mean, I don't separate him a lot from anything that I'm doing. But I try to take my kid everywhere I go with me, if he's with me.
You don't take your kid on no vacation now. I hope
I haven't.
Don't tell me
so.
that.
Yo, I haven't been on a vacation in forever, and since the pandemic started, I've only traveled like a couple times since the whole thing started. Like this whole thing, I've had people close to me get it. I've seen it firsthand, and it's made me move a little bit different. I haven't taken him on no vacation. I haven't been on a vacation, man.
That's terrible. You need to get out here and live. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you do have daddy guilt.
Yeah, I mean.
That's why you're not dating.
Yeah, no.
See, everybody was probably thinking something was wrong with you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, hey.
Like, what's wrong with them?
I'm telling you. And it's so, and from that standpoint, like, yeah, because I guess as people, we define ourselves through so many different things that we do, and at like one point in time, you were an entertainer. Now you feel like you're a mommy. You define yourself as a mommy more than now anything. Being a dad has given me more purpose than anything. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I thank God for my little boy. Like, the timing was perfect. The love is incredible. The relationship is just one of the best things, and he's a great little guy.
Oh, I think that is so sweet. Your DM's about to be on blast.
Yeah, trust me.
Oh my God.
When I first had my kids, I had a girl tell me, like, if I would have knew you was making babies like that, I would have gave you one a long time ago.
Lord God.
Yeah.
The thirst.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Just all types of stuff. Because like I said, I waited late. Yeah, I'm sure everybody was waiting for me. My whole family, I'm the oldest grandchild on my mom's side and the last one to have kids, so everybody was waiting on me.
We're speaking to my boy, Anthony Dorset Jr., and we'll be right back.
Mic check, mic check. Wait, I need my one. All right, y'all, y'all ready? Mom, you ready? Lauren, see, get off your phone. It's time to start this podcast.
I'm Portia Williams, and I brought my mom, Miss Diane.
Hey.
And my sister, Lauren.
Hey, y'all.
On my new podcast, Portia for Real. Now, you guys have got to admit that when watching us on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the moments with my mom and my sister are pretty funny and sweet. And those are the type of moments we're going to recreate in this podcast.
And we're taking some of your calls, giving you, the listeners, some advice on whatever you got going on in your life.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. If you listen to us, you'll be crying or laughing.
Or both.
Both,
okay? Portia for Real is out now. Listen in Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We're back into the Blueprint, chatting it up with Anthony Dorset Jr. about being a single parent dad. So do you think, as a single dad, it's easier to date a woman with a kid than a woman without a kid?
Wow. So I've heard more stories about this than I've seen it firsthand, of course. And some of my buddies who have either dated girls who had kids around the same age, if they're not being raised the same way or have seen the same things, it becomes like a conflict in certain ways. I go back to what I said earlier. I think every situation is going to open up a different opportunity in some kind of way. For me, growing up, not having a kid for so long, I dated more girls who had kids before I ever did. And so now that I waited this late to have a kid, and I haven't been like out there like that, so unfortunately, I can't give you the best answer for that.
So what would you prefer right now if you were dating? Let's just say you met like an amazing woman. Would she have a kid already or would she not?
I am actually seeing someone. That being said, is it better to have a kid or not have a kid? It goes both ways, to be honest with you. Because number one, it's like this. If you never had a person who's actually been around a kid and at that point knows how to deal with it like a young child on a daily basis, they may not have the patience and understanding, so I would definitely think that having someone that has more of a background with the child, especially this late in my life, is more of a benefit than anything. I think that it has to be that type of situation because, like, if you can't understand what we're dealing with as parents, that's where you get the whole thing about where's that time and why are you doing this and everything else like that. So someone who's seen it and actually experienced it and been through it a little bit helps out.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I dated somebody that didn't have a kid, and I found that it was more difficult. Number one, I felt like I was always explaining why I couldn't be a part of everything that was going on in their lives. I could not go on vacations all the time. Sorry, pumpkin. I could not hang out with you all weekend. I can't spend a night, I can't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? I have a kid. And I think for me that caused more problems because I just... You can't explain
it is so
why
hard.
I'm choosing my kid.
Yes.
Like, what are you talking about, Willis? Like,
and
no, I can't. I got to go to bed because I got to get up and go to soccer practice. Sorry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it.
I can't hang out with you this weekend because my son got a game here. He got something to do for school. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Especially if you're dating a person that say may work a regular 9-to-5 job or something like that and they got those particular hours. They look for those weekends. Oh, we're going to kick it on the weekend. Well, if you got a little kid.
Yeah, but do you invite her to come? Do you invite her to go to the games?
So, no.
Why?
Well, number one, I really just didn't invite a lot of people to the games. I was keeping everything so close to the cuff and everything else like that with my son because the notoriety that he gets already. You know what I mean? Number two, like, sometimes I'm coaching and I'm not going to be that guy that's going to be at the game talking to you if you come to the game while my son is playing. You know what I'm saying? Especially like if I'm like, because he's 6 years old, but trust me, they get competitive and I'm already extra competitive as it is. So I'm at the game. If I'm not coaching, I'm actually watching my son in a way to say, okay, like what do I need to work with him on or something like that as well. And it was just the first year. So like for me, like all these first experiences, I wanted to myself. Now, family, like my mom, of course, comes to the games. My dad has come to the games and everything else like that. But no.
But the girl can't come.
I haven't. Listen to me. I have not introduced my son. You understand? Like I have not given my son.
You have not introduced your son to your girl.
I have not
the girl you're dating now.
not introduced him in that way.
Like what you mean?
Like okay, this is daddy's friend. Like that's not daddy's girlfriend or like anything else like that. You know what I mean? So it hasn't been introduced in that kind of way.
So everybody is the friend.
There's not a lot of everybody's.
No, that's not what I wait.
That's
not what I'm implying.
but no,
I'm saying
no. I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you. I haven't got there yet. You know what I mean? And I just haven't got there.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go ahead on and say that.
It's just a touchy situation with my kid, and like I said before, I'm actually trying to find a place with the balance of it. Like I know now, and I'm sure you know now, you're not supposed to do this thing alone. You definitely need some. No. You definitely need some help. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm kind of conflicted and torn, literally because of what I saw and the way that I was raised. My mother never introduced me to a boyfriend. Never.
Wow.
I'm not saying that.
Did she have one? Did she
I don't know.
confess when you were older that she had one?
No. Honestly, like
I love your mama.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. And so, like, I was at the Hall of Fame, sitting, watching one of my boys go in, and I had to call my mom and thank her for recognizing the call over my life that I didn't see, because a praying mom is incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was a nut. At some point in time, and for a long time, used to just do a lot of wild stuff. And it wasn't until I actually had my son that I realized the purpose, that it made more sense. Like, I know why God kept me here. Because I put my life on the line in a lot of crazy ways.
That's amazing. So what was it like growing up with your dad, being such a superstar? As
a kid, I just recognized all the attention, of course. And I knew my dad was a baller. It was easy. I was born the same day of my dad's first college game. I was there. Wow. Yeah, so I was there for the whole ride. Him and my mom were childhood sweethearts. They met when they were like 12 years old. So
how did they co-parent?
Well, we were in Pennsylvania and in West Virginia, and my dad was in Dallas. And so like every school vacation, you know, summers, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever it was, you know what I'm saying, I was with my dad. You asked the question earlier, so like, and then I had mentioned, when I asked my mom, like, did you ever get some? And so she like, yo, I used to let my hair down when you go stay with your dad. You know what I'm saying? But when you came back, so
I was going to say, mom got her life, Christmas,
you know what I'm saying?
vacations.
Right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But growing up, I love watching my dad play football. And like the town that we grew up in, you know, like everybody was a Dorset fan. And everybody knew. There's 5 boys and 2 girls in my dad's family. And my dad is youngest boy. And if you talk to anybody at home where we're from, they say he wasn't even the best football player out of his brothers. My dad tells me he was trying to be like my uncle. And my dad is in the Hall of Fame and one of 9 football players to ever do what he did in football. And people at home actually say, oh, man, your daddy wasn't good as your uncle. So, you know, it's definitely been in us. The fortunate side of it, you know, people talk about my dad so much, but my dad was a number 3 pick in that draft that year. And my mom's and my cousin, my first cousin, Gary Jeter, was a number 7 pick of the draft on my mom's side of the family. So we got athletes on both sides of the family. Like Ty Law is my cousin on my mom's side of the family, not my dad's side of the family.
Wow.
So
how did growing up like that influence how you parent Hawk?
You know, it's just it's made me keep him close to the cuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. I see a little bit of everything, and but it's helped me because I can teach him so much. Like growing up, I didn't understand. Like my uncles and my cousins just come up to me like, "Oh, these people, they hating on you. They don't like you. These boys really ain't your friends for real." And I was young and naive. Like, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And then you start to see things. You know what I mean? You start to understand that there is something different about you, regardless. And so, and so with that being said, you know, I try to equip him with that knowledge right now. Let him know that you're going to be a little bit different because of who your daddy and your pop are.
So what's the greatest lesson that you've learned from your dad? And are you ready to pass that on to your son, whatever that is?
Oh, man. You know, I really can't say this just one thing. It's one saying that my dad has always said that I believe that rings in every part of life, and that's little things make big things happen.
Wow.
All right? And so if you pay attention to the little things, if you discredit the little things, you know what I'm saying, it can make big things happen. And in the realm of trying to chase greatness and be a football player and to be an entertainer and to do whatever, to have our shows, like, you have to pay attention to the small things. You know what I mean? And once you make the small things so habitual, those big things become that much easier.
So we've come to the point in the show that we share our greatest takeaways from this episode. So, Anthony, since you're my guest, we would love for you to kick things off.
Man, first and foremost, do not let a situation with that woman stop you from being with your kid. You know what I'm saying? Your child has nothing, he or she has nothing to do with the issues that you have with the mom. And same thing for the ladies. Ladies, like, and I say this, like, there are dads out there who are trying to be better dads. Do not be angry with them and keep them from their kids. But I tell every dad that's in this situation, fall in love with your baby before it comes out the womb. You know, when that woman's carrying that child, that's when that love affair needs to begin. So whatever happens outside of that, it shouldn't have any detriment or act to control anything between you and your relationship and the kid. Once I found out I was having a kid, at that moment, I knew I had to fall in love with the situation. So don't use baby mama drama as no scapegoat. Man, just figure it out and be a influential part of your child's life. We need it.
And the child needs it because the only person who suffers is the kid.
Yeah.
So that's such a beautiful message, and it needs to be said.
Yes. I hate to see people in situations where, and I hear, oh man, I'm mad at my baby mama, so I ain't seeing my kid. Or it could be the other situation around. The baby mom's is mad at the old boy, so she ain't let him see the kid. And that's not putting your child first. That's not. Nope. That's not at all.
I said before, you don't have feelings. When you have kids, you don't have no rights to your feelings. Mm-mm. That's done. No. It's your kids' feelings first.
Definitely.
Period. It's not the baby mama feelings. It's not my baby daddy feelings. It's how does the baby feel? How does the kid benefit? Yeah. How does the kid suffer? That's what matters.
All that.
I think my biggest takeaway is that we always seem to hear how being a single parent impacts a woman. But Anthony, you have openly shared how intentional you are about the sacrifices you make to being a real father to your son, Hawk. And as women, we know and understand how it impacts our work, our dating life, and our finances. And it was just really nice to hear how you truly realign your entire world to revolve around your little guy. Because you value your role as Hawk's role model, his hero, and his dad. It's so beautiful. It really, truly is. This has been so insightful, Anthony, and I thank you for your openness and willingness to share your story with us on Under Construction.
Hey, man, congratulations on your show, too, as well.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Anthony.
And hopefully you'll be seeing me on one of these shows the next football season. I'm trying to get back into it myself.
Period. Well, you need to. You're very well spoken
Thank you.
a great guy. Thank you for coming to Under Construction. That message was amazing. That really did touch me because sometimes you do have to get reminded, especially when your baby daddy or baby mama has worked on your nerves for the day. Lord have mercy. You have to remind yourself that it's not about you.
Yeah.
Period.
And
And it's not about the circumstance.
Man,
it's about the kid.
That's growth. It takes a while to grow, though. It takes a while to grow.
Well, y'all, we've blazed through another episode. Can you believe it? I'm telling you, time flies when you're having fun. And as always, I truly enjoyed sharing this time with you. If you have any questions or suggestions for an episode, please feel free to hit your girl up at ucwithtamar@gmail.com. I love you. I mean it. You can find me on the gram at Tamar Braxton. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, or wherever you're listening. And if you happen to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, go on ahead and rate and review the show because I read the comments, my team read the comments, and it helps the show. We'll see you next week. Under Construction is a production of Mo Sauce, a Stitcher brand. It's produced by Angel Lavis. Our recording engineer and sound designer is Rashad Smith. Our executive producer is T Square. Music provided by Radio and Audio Everywhere Company.